What is up, good people, and welcome back to my video. And in this video I'm gonna show you guys my personal thought on this phone. Yes, as you can see right here, Realme 6. And I'm not gonna go for an in full review. I'm just gonna show you guys a quick review. I'm just gonna talk about the pros and the cons of this phone itself. So as you can see right here, this is the phone, and obviously I've used a a casing here to keep it secured, so this is the phone itself, and I got the Comet white color. So as you can see right here, the color will swiftly change, depends on the angle you look at the phone. So as you can see right here, you got that kind of neon colors, like rainbow colors, if you change the way you looked at the phone. And obviously you can see through the colors because I'm using a clear case. This is not the case that bundled with the phone. I bought the case from the store. So in this video I'm basically going to share my personal thought, the pros, the cons, and yeah, let's get started. So before I dive deep into the pros and cons, let's go to the basic spec of the phone. So this phone is powered by a MediaTek Helio G90T, and the resolution of the screen is 1080p Full HD with 90Hz display. Yep, and it is powered by 8GB of RAM with 128GB of ROM, and the battery size is 4300 mAh power battery, and it has fast charging, 30W. And don't worry about that because Realme has bundled the fast charging inside the box themselves, so you don't have to worry about buying another adapter. And this phone is also powered by 4 quad camera, as you can see right here. So the first shooter right here is a 8 megapixel ultra wide angle, and then we have 64 megapixel for the main shooter and 2 megapixel for the macro, and another 2 megapixel for the depth sensor, and you have a little tiny flash right here. Now overall this phone is a solid phone for the price. I got this phone for around 1,999 ringgit on Shopee. So I'm just gonna dive straight into the pros and the cons. So the first pros that I really like about this phone is the battery life itself. So this phone lasts, I'm just gonna open this phone for. So this phone lasts me around 7 hours and 15 minutes screen on time on a moderate usage. So there is very respectable battery life on this smartphone, and I really liked it, So with 7 hours and 15 minutes of screen on time, I probably could last 1 day or even 1.5 days of usage on this phone without needing to charge. And after that 7 hours, the battery percentage still left 20%, which is basically a great stuff for me. I do a lot of stuff with my phone. My phone is basically the only device that I use other than my laptop. I use it for gaming, for YouTube, for music, and basically for mostly social media. So yeah, and plus you have a 30W fast charging, which is bundled inside the box themselves. So yeah, it will charge your phone from 20% to 100 basically in just 40 minutes. That is blazingly fast compared to my previous phone. So that is the first pros I got with this phone. The next is the RAM management. So this phone has 8GB of RAM, and it doesn't lie. With that 8GB, you can basically multitask, and go back to your previous task without losing any information. So basically the RAM management is pretty good. It won't kill your previous task that easily. The RAM management is not that aggressive. So basically you can go back to your previous multi-tab without having the problems of it be killed by the system themselves. So let's say I'm going back to my Instagram, and as you can see right here, I'm going back to the page that I was before, to the HP page. So the RAM management is, in my opinion, is really good, considering it has 8GB of RAM. So in my personal opinion, if you like to get this phone, get the 8GB of RAM. so that it will be a little bit more faster, more smoother, and you won't have any problems with the RAM management and stuff. Now the third pros that I really like about this phone is the performance itself. This phone is powered by Helio G90T, which is a great performer if you like to play a lot of games, doing a lot of heavy multitasking, and you don't have any problem using this phone with 8 gigabytes of RAMs. You know, you have a lot of RAMs, a powerful chipset to power this phone. So basically any test that you throw to this phone won't be a problem. Even for gaming on this phone is very fluid. You won't face much of an issue. You know, I play a lot of games here, and yeah, no problems at all on this phone. It's a wonder. You can play basically tons of game with high refresh rates, and scrolling is very smooth here, considering this phone has a 90 Hz refresh rate and whatsoever. So yeah, the performance is a plus point for me in buying this phone. Now the fourth pros that I really like about this phone is the camera department itself. Not everything about the camera, but specific task about the camera. Let's jump into the camera and see the UI. So as you can see right here, the camera is pretty much almost the same like the previous Oppo devices. You have the swipe to the left or to the right to change the menu. And what I like about this camera department is the video. Let's go for video here. And as you can see right here, you have the option to toggle the UIS and ultra steady. You can see the right thing here. So basically what it does is it will record videos on a stable frame rate, so your video won't be shaky. You won't have any stutter on your videos, and your video will be so smooth that you don't have to worry about any shakiness. So whenever you have recorded video, you don't have to edit the video to make it more stable. So that is the main feature that I like about the camera here, and basically the pros that I found within the camera apps itself. So yeah, we've talked about the pros. Now let's move on to the cons, what I don't like about this phone. And basically there isn't much that I dislike about this phone, because this phone is basically a power piece. Everything about this phone is really unique and really nice. So jumping on to the first cons, which is basically the phone itself. Well, as you can see right here, this phone built pretty well on paper, you know, on picture, but my only concern is the phone material. Right, this phone is built with full plastic bag. You know, the bag is made of what they call as polycarbonate, which is basically means plastic. So the durability isn't there. So when you buy this phone, I really suggest you to put on a case. They've given a pre-bundle case inside the box themselves, so just use the case, you know, in case you want to protect your phone, or buy another case, because plastic won't last that long. Plus it is a fingerprint magnet. Alright, so smudges will kill and destroy your phone's beauty very instant. So pre-applying a case or get a skin for your phone is really an option to, you know, to minimize the damage on the back panel here. Now the next con that I find, this might be a little bit nitpicking, is for me the absence of IR blaster. You know, this is just a personal preference. If you use a lot of IR blaster, it is not here on Realme 6, because I kind of use my IR blaster to, you know, power up my my television, my icons, and basically stuff like that. Yeah, maybe Realme try to cut the cost down by not including an IR blaster, so I'm fine with that. So that is the second cons that I find with this phone, the absence of IR blaster. Now the final cons, or the final weakness that I find on this phone, is the camera department. Yep, that's right. Let's jump back to the camera. So everything in the camera department is pretty good, I'd say. The UI, the shutter speed, the quality is very nice. But what bugs me a lot is this one, ultra macro mode. So as the name tells you, macro mode means you can capture shot that is very close to your, you know, to your lens. But the problem with macro shot is the image quality is, I'd say, unusable. Alright, you really need to have that perfect angle or perfect lighting to capture your pictures. Otherwise the macro pictures will be so, I'd say, blur, so washed out, the colors is inaccurate, and even when you try to edit it on, you know, Photoshop or something like that, it will be hard since the megapixel count is very low. It's only 2 megapixel, so you won't have much of a choice to edit the picture. So I'd say that is like, for me, I like the option that Realme put the macro camera there, but I don't like the fact that the camera looks very, I'm sorry to use the word terrible, but yeah, the macro shot is terrible unless you really know how to take picture on, you know, various light condition, and you know how to take picture on macro. For example, when I try to take the logo here, it's number 6, you can see quite subtle noise around the number, which is quite weird for me since the normal shot doesn't have that noise whatsoever. So yeah, that is the third reason why I think this, well, the third weakness I found on this phone. So yeah, that's basically wraps up the video about my pros and cons. And over the 3 weeks of my usage, I don't really find any problems with the phone. The Wi-Fi connection is great, the cellular connection is great. I mostly play games on the cellular connection, so I don't face any problems with that. You know, I don't disconnect suddenly from my games. And what I like is the fingerprint is very fast. You just tap on it, see it right here, you just tap and it's basically just super fast, you know, like blazingly fast. You just tap it and it will bring you back to your home screen. And you have the face unlock as well, which is also very fast. And the cellular connection is also quite good. The call quality is very good. The speaker, although it's a mono speaker, but it gets quite loud, quite decently loud. So media consumption, listening to music, watching movies whatsoever, you won't have any problem with that. Plus it is a 90Hz display, which for me is a plus point on this price range. So yeah, that's basically about all the pros and cons, and also my personal thought. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please subscribe and leave a like and leave a comment what do you think about my videos and what improvements should I do for this channel. And I see you guys next time. Goodbye.